And when we told her that Rex Lapis had been assassinated, she immediately threatened to squash Liyue Harbor. We probably don't need to bring any offerings now that we've gotten to know her pretty well, right? Huh? Traveler, did something catch your... Whoa, what a pretty lady! Is she also here to visit Cloud Retainer? Yeah, you're right. All it takes is one look and you can tell she's someone special. Okay, but if we're both friends of Cloud Retainer, helping you make more hello? Paimon is Paimon! And this is the Traveler.
You two... What is this tomfoolery? Has this shift in form so clouded your eyes that you no longer recognize one anymore?
Wow.
Wait, huh? You're the illuminated bird? But you look human. How did that happen?
I can well, everyone can pretty much take a guess. I think be right. Except for Paimon.
Oh, donning human form is scarcely any test of one's abilities. As for your confusion, one merely had no reason to indulge such inclinations before.
So, you're indulging now because?
Well, one has made plans to pay a visit to some disciples at Liyue Harbor. Taking on a human form for such a trip is simply a way to make matters less conspicuous.
Makes sense.
You? Worrying about keeping a low profile? You're the one who likes to pop up out of nowhere all over the place. In fact, Paimon can think of several examples. Like last year, when you suddenly appeared on the top of a roof without any warning. Or... Hey, didn't we agree not to bring that up unless she asked?
Oh? So you have taken care to follow the proper rules of etiquette after all.
Well, this is all Paimon's got. You don't mind, right?
One has never found oneself lacking in basic comforts. On the contrary, it is the gesture that one values above all else. So long as you've shown proper respect and consideration, the quantity or quality of the gift is but a...
That kinda makes Paimon feel a little guilty for trying to keep them for herself. Ah, right! So by disciples, you must mean Ganyu and Shenhe.
One planned to extend the invitation even if you had not raised the matter yourself. Shenhe and Ganyu should be quite pleased to see you again. However, one would first inquire as to the reason behind your visit here. You have cause to seek one—
Yeah, we just found ourselves missing you and wanted to see how you were doing. We were hoping you'd tell us one of your stories. Who knew we'd run into your human form while we were at it?
Is that so? If there are no urgent matters at hand, then let us make haste for Liyue Harbor. Ganyu is likely still working at Yuehai Pavilion, so that shall be our first stop.
Sounds great! Then let's all go to Liyue Harbor!
Useless! Useless! Here!
We're almost at Yuehai Pavilion! Hey, Deef. Guess we have no idea if Shenhe and Ganyu have ever seen her in this form before. Wait, where did she go? Why are you just standing there, Cloud Retainer?
Quietly now. One shall stay here. You two can go and meet with her. If one were to proudly proclaim one's presence, Ganyu would surely profess herself otherwise unoccupied and drop everything to attend to one's visit. One fears that would only result in her staying up all night to make up for lost time. One does not wish to trouble her. Conversing vicariously via you two shall suffice. Do remember to inquire as to her recent well-being. Again, do not mention one's presence here.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
Cloud Retainer?
Ugh.
Oh. Busted.
Is that lady someone you know?
She is indeed. I'm sorry, Huixin, but could we delay the upcoming meeting for a little bit?
Oh, not to worry, miss.
Thank you.
It's been a while, Ganyu.
Greetings. What brings you here today? And Cloud Retainer, too.
You are quite mistaken. One is not acquainted with this Cloud Retainer of whom you speak. One is simply a mere mortal passerby.
Huh?
Seems she's not buying it.
That was but a simple test. One did not...
But recognizing you is, my responsibility as your...
An apt observation. One was simply passing by while attending to some important business.
Wait, Paimon wasn't aware of it. Cloud Retainer's right. We've still got something.
Oh, is that so?
One simply desired to see you and had no intention of interrupting your work. A quick conversation should suffice for
I understand.
While one acknowledged... it still makes one nostalgic to see you as you are now.
Cloud Retainer!
If you insist. We are running short on time regardless, so one will refrain from going into each and every story.
Wow, you've been to so many new places since the last time we spoke. If you ever need anything, please just come find me at Uehai Pavilion. Also, forgive me for my presumptuousness, Cloud Retainer, but if you plan to continue appearing in this form, don't you think it'd be helpful to adopt a human name?
A human name? Huh. You raise a valid point. Considering the sheer extent of one's renown, Cloud Retainer is surely too recognizable as a name.
You really think so? Not that you're not famous or anything.
You presume to know the extent of one's illustrious achievements. One would hardly think such a thing to be possible. Nevertheless, Ganyu's advice cannot be ignored. From this point on, when in public occasions, be sure to refer to one as Shenyun.
Shenyun?
Ah, I assume that's a reference to the full record of Pristine Pavilion. An adeptus of years past would rise with the clouds and rest with the moon. They were enlightened and wise, free and unfettered.
Oh, that sounds super cool! Paimon feels like only the most powerful of Adepti could rise with the clouds and rest.
Actually, those lines were originally written to describe Cloud Retainer herself.
Huh? Wait, so you're really that powerful?
And what of it? Did you truly take one to be nothing more than a bird of bigger than average size?
To be fair, Cloud Retainer rarely speaks of her past accomplishments. The tales of her past can only be found in ancient texts. It is said that once, although I did not live through such tragedy, simply reading about it is enough to gain a fifth on top of the drought. The books had this to say about upon arrival, the adept...
Wow, that's incredible!
Mortal records add embellishments to dramatize past...
Even so, you stopped an entire drought! Can you really control the weather like the Oh, Paimon suddenly has a lot more respect for you.
How laughable. A name is but a simple label we carry with us on our journey through the world. Why would one be offended by such a trivial matter?
That's a relief. And that can...
Well, that is quite enough ancient history for now. Ganyu, have you had word from Shenhe? One has heard that she procured a job recently. Have you any thoughts on her workplace? And what, pray tell, of her monthly remuneration? Moreover, does she find herself overly inundated with work? Is she allowed time off during Lantern Rite?
That is a lot of questions.
There is no cause for concern, Cloud Retainer. I introduced Shenhe to her employer personally. Wanmin Restaurant's business has been booming recently. So, with Chef Mao being swamped with customers, and Xiangling still off and out in search of new recipes, I introduced Shenhe to staff the restaurant.
I see.
Huh?
Can...
You may return to...
Of course, Cloud Retainer. Please, take care. Traveler?
See you around. Mama was pretty quick on the uptake there, don't you think? As soon as you mentioned important business to attend to, Paimon realized that you were just looking to cut the conversation short and not take too much of Ganyu's time. Is Paimon right?
No, in fact, it was not an excuse. One is indeed visiting Liyue Harbor for an important purpose.
Wait, for real?
The moment is not yet upon us. Still, the truth will be revealed to you in time.
Okay.
She really seems to be...
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, how can I not? Not even fine food is enough to distract from the presence of a fine lady, huh?
Oh, I'm far more interested in getting her details than ordering any dishes. Hey, how about you ask her?
You do it.
No.
These two.
I think you should. Wait, she's coming.
What can I get for you today?
Greetings, miss. I was just wondering if you'd be willing to...
What would you like to order?
2 servings of mora meat to go.
Shenhe!
Welcome. It's been a while.
Don't welcome us as guests and greet us as old...
Mm-hmm. Oh, and
this is...
Master?
Huh?
One does not recall ever revealing this form to you before. How were you able to ascertain one's...
I've trained and lived with Master for more than 10 years. I would recognize you no matter what form you Is something the matter, Master?
Hardly. Hardly. One simply learned of your employment from your letter and came to check on your well-being.
And check out the great food, too!
Indeed. It's almost lunchtime. My apologies. I'm still on the clock and can't talk for very long.
Well, if it isn't the Traveler and Paimon. Are you here for Shenhe? The lunch rush isn't in yet, Shenhe. So, I've got things covered for now. Go ahead, sit down and enjoy some time with your friends.
Thank you, Chef Mao.
It is just as one expected. The owner of Wanmin Restaurant is indeed a most reasonable and accommodating human. Still, the work here entails dealing with quite a varied group of people. Has this been difficult for you, Shenhe?
It's been manageable so far. I sometimes run into strange people, but I have figured out a way to deal with them.
Seems like you've been making progress. So by...
First, I tried to talk sense into them.
Oh, a sensible plan. One is gladdened to see you integrate so well into human society.
And you, Master? How have you been?
Simply marvelous. Though Mount Outsong has scarcely enjoyed your presence recently, one has hardly found the pleasure of one's own company to be lacking.
I see. Oh, just as expected of Master. I have missed Master quite a bit too. Even though work has been busy lately.
Oh.
Whoa.
By the way, Master, since you are in Liyue Harbor, have you had the...
Indeed. She is similarly preoccupied with her work. There was time only to exchange a few simple pleasantries.
Ganyu told us the story of Cloud Retainer's name. It was amazing. We never...
I see. In that case, allow me to also share a story about Master's past.
Oh?
Is that a problem, Master? I believe this to be a good topic of conversation.
No, not a problem. One was simply caught off guard. But no matter. Please, proceed. One is most curious to see how much of one's own conversational prowess you possess.
Master once participated in a race against Mooncarver. After Mooncarver lost, he insisted that Master's ability to fly gave her. In response, Master agreed to forego flying in return for being able to use one of her devices in the race.
Huh. What kind?
It was a mechanical vehicle made out of iron. What was it called again? Oh, an electro-powered bicycle?
Oh, you refer to the bicyclical Thunder Flashmobile. One spent 49 days conceptualizing and crafting it. It need only be infused with adeptal energy, and it can cover thousands of miles in one day. Oh, it boggles the mind why Mooncarver ever supposed he might best me in a contest of locomotion. Though he sprinted with all his might, he could barely keep up. Alas, the one flaw of my mechanism lay in its weakness against mountainous terrain. One was thwarted mere seconds from victory, when it was thrown off course and failed to make it across the final stretch. Truly a most unfortunate turn of events.
Master, that was the end of that story.
Is that so? Huh.
Have you been lonely, Master?
Lonely? Huh. At one's age, entire human generations come and go in the blink of an eye. 'Tis a most foreign sentiment.
Mm-hmm.
What is the...
It's nothing. I was just a little bit confused. Which one of the two is the real Cloud Retainer?
To me, they are both, Master.
Huh. One finds oneself exalted yet again with sweet words of praise and flattery of This is not to say that your words paint an...
She got like, what, 2 sentences of flattery from her disciple? And it's as if her ego was about to burst.
Do you have any empty tables?
Hey there, could we get another fish stew?
I'm hearing more guests come in. I should get back to work.
All right, good luck with the lunchtime rush.
Mm-hmm. I'll try my best.
So much yummy food! Paimon's gonna feast!
One is fond of all kinds of delicacies and delights in a The dishes here demonstrate no shortage of culinary skill. Their unique flavor profile has left one more than satisfied. In fact, one has been struck by quite the fit of inspiration. One has already begun to conceptualize the next generation of supreme cuisine machines.
Everything's so tasty! A bit too hot at times, but still super tasty.
I'm sorry, miss, but our tables are full.
Shall we try somewhere else, Granny? But it smells so delightful.
Well, you could always check with some of the other guests and see if anyone...
Okay, I'll ask around. Excuse me. Would you mind letting us share a table with...
Ah, well, Paimon doesn't mind. What about you guys?
Great! Thanks,
Granny?
Yep. Is there something wrong with...
No, Paimon's...
Yeah, a lot of people compliment Granny on her youthful looks, but she's actually much older than... Granny? Why don't you take a...
Huh.
No.
Tis a fated meeting, then. Please, take a seat.
What would you like to eat, Granny? I can order...
I want braised earthworms. They always pop up out of the ground after a rainstorm.
No, not this again. Granny, there's no braised earthworms on the menu.
Braised earthworms? Well, that sounds weird. Do people... Right, that's what Paimon was thinking, too. I... need...
Help? Oh, thanks. That's nice of you to offer. Granny has pretty bad dementia, so her memory's getting worse all the time. She's always saying things that sound kinda confusing. Actually, her memory's been bad ever since I was little. But it's gotten so bad lately that I even have to remind her who I am every morning. They died young. It's just me and Granny now. Oh, but it's okay. Don't feel bad. Granny loves me a lot, and I love her a lot too. Sure, it's... Wow. You're too kind.
And me? Oh, what about...
You're tough too, Granny. Plus, you're really gentle, and you're always there for me.
Yes, and it's hardly as if I forget everything. I still remember the important things. Wait, what? Ah, I remember now. It was a dream.
Huh? That sounds super important. But how come you've never told me about it before?
It was just a dream, so I forgot about it. But I'm in a good mood now, and somehow I remembered it again. Ah, you know, I believe I've had this dream a great many times.
Wait, so you have a reoccurring dream where someone's talking to you? That sounds spooky. Oh, does that mean you're possessed?
Unlikely. Her eyes are clear, and her breathing remains calm and level. One sees no signs of possession.
Are you sure?
Who do you take me for? Is one not an adept?
You're right. Paimon almost forgot you're the expert. In that case, do you still remember what the person in your dreams looked like?
Not anymore. Although, I have a sense that she looked rather like me.
A younger version of...
This is just getting weirder and weirder. What is going on?
As one said, fate must have brought us together.
Are you sure?
Paimon's Paimon.
Just Shenyun is fine.
Thank you all so much for offering to help.
Oh, we don't need any payment for this. You're welcome. But Miss Shenyun, all we have to go off is that dream. Where do we start?
That is elementary. Since her dreams portray her younger self, then we shall retrace...
Sounds like a plan. So
Why, of course I do. The heavens above.
Okay, taking that as a no.
Once, when I was really little, my dad told me that Granny used to be a martial artist heroine who saved loads of people from a disaster. If it's true, then maybe they wrote about it in the history.
A martial arts heroine? Oh, Shinto knows tons about Liyue's chivalry.
Are you leaving already? But I'm still hungry.
I'll go order some food, Granny. If there's...
It seems we must part ways for now. The Traveler and Paimon are bound for the Feiyun Commerce Guild, while Yuendai and Shuyu shall remain here and partake of their lunch. As for myself, I have matters to discuss with Streetward Rambler.
Streetward Rambler?
Precisely. Let us meet at Yujing Terrace once you are ready.
Always wanted to try this place.
The food is unbelievable.
Leo's really got a lot going for it.
Try your luck betting on Jay?
Huh. It's you two. What brings you here?
Shincho!
That's not a whole lot of information to go off of. I can't pinpoint her identity from your description alone. But considering her age, I am reminded of a nameless heroine who's been featured in various chivalric novels.
Nameless heroine?
That's right. The novels often speak of a great drought from 50 years ago. All they knew was that she always acted alone. Later, though, she supposed after the drought ended, the way this nameless heroine faded from fame into obscurity later in life...
Thanks a lot, Shincho.
It's nothing at all. Just something I came across while reading. I did do a bit of extra research on her story.
Well, Paimon still thinks that's super cool.
Let me think. Perhaps the real-life heroine who inspired the character was also often seen near those... You're welcome. To be honest, I found some parts of the story confusing when I first came across it. If Miss Yuendai was indeed the original inspiration for the character, she may just be able to help me put the pieces together. It's rare for a chivalric hero to fade into obscurity during their lifetime, even after retiring from the public eye. I've never understood why someone would go to such lengths to erase themselves from public memory.
We'll be sure to tell you if we manage to uncover the...
That's a deal. Perhaps.
Paimon feels like we just learned so much. Oh, right! There's a drought in this story, too!
Well, so while droughts do happen from time to time, the crops withered.
That sounds up.
Yeah. And that's exactly why the nameless heroine was so beloved. Still, they say that back in those days, disasters were both more severe and... Do you have any other questions?
We're good for now. We're just going to head back and meet up with Miss Yen. Paimon hopes that Granny Yuen... Anyway, we'll be off now. See you some other time, Xingqiu.
It's no problem at all.
I have recorded the tune that you requested. I hope it will be of help to you.
Oh, thank you. Straight word... Ping.
Oh, it's no serious matter. I was just reminiscing about the last time I saw you in this form. Time has wrought such change in this world, and yet you appear just the same as ever.
Time has little bearing on one's existence, nor has one keenly felt its effects whilst dwelling at Mount Outsong. Nevertheless, Ping, one would like to seek your counsel on a personal matter.
Oh, why so formal all of a sudden? I must say, you're making me a little nervous.
Well, the inquiry is as such. Approximately how much more would one need to afford a comfortable life in the harbor, not unlike the one that you yourself lead?
It does not require as much as you may think. Still, do you mean that...
Cloud Retainer, Madam Ping!
Nothing save for some trivial matters. Have you unearthed any useful details?
Xingqiu has a theory, but let's save it for when Chuyu and Miss Yuendai have joined up with us again.
Do not be troubled, young lady. Here.
Thank you so...
What do you think, Chuyu? Does it match up with what you know of your granny?
According to the story, the nameless heroine eventually fell in love with an exorcist from Mount Tianheng. Maybe... that I don't have many memories of him, but there was this one time I found a box in her attic full of a bunch of weird sigils. I think so too. Granny might remember something once she's returned to a familiar place.
What marvelous tea. It's as if I was taking a stroll in the...
Is that so? Then please drink as much as you like. There's no need to hurry. At our age, it's always nice to slow down and take the time to appreciate pleasant conversation among friends.
Thank you.
Okay, since we have...
Sure thing. What would you like to know?
I have a secret I want to tell you.
What's wrong, Chuyu?
Well, I've been kind of meaning to ask ever since we started talking in the...
Oh! About that.
Well, you guys just seem super special. Plus, I think I read it...
Oh, must have been a slip of the tongue.
One is indeed an Adeptus. Is that of some concern to you?
Huh? I knew it. Well, one time when I was a little kid, I saw a pure white illuminated crypt. I had this super high fever, and Granny wasn't around. I was feeling all icky, and she put me on her back and flew me to her cool Adeptus house. In fact, I really wanted to thank her, but I was too sleepy to stay awake, so I never got the chance. So, I just...
pure... Have you ever met one that's pure white, Cloud Retainer?
Never has one met an...
That's weird. Was it really just a dream then? Well, even if it was just in my head, it does...
Leave it to us! Now that we know, let's go to Wangsh...
Okay, I'll go get Grit.
Wangshu Inn.
Do you remember this place?
Yes. The fish here is very delicious. And I believe I used to have a room here. It had a window. Yes,
I'll come with.
Paimon's still having some trouble understanding what she's talking about, but if she's so familiar with this place, that must mean she lived here, right? Whoa! Shell! What are you doing here all of a sudden? You scared the living daylights out of Paimon!
I sensed a non-human presence and decided to come take a look. If you're here, then there's likely no trouble afoot. I suppose there's no cause for concern. It's been a while, Cloud Retainer. I see you have... I have indeed. I fought alongside her in this form on many occasions during the Archon War.
Oh, wow! What was she like during the war? Oh, wait, let Paimon take a guess. Was it anything like this?
Behold!
An impressive imitation.
Paimon knows her all too well.
Even so, Cloud Retainer was not always as ostentatious as you describe. You may be unaware, but her talent with Adepti sigils is just as formidable as her skill in mechanics. The Archon War reached its peak after Guizhong's death. The Cloud Retainer who fought beside me in those devastating battles was taciturn and solemn, only speaking when she had to activate her sigils.
A Cloud Retainer who barely talks? Paimon can't picture it. But what happened after that?
Once one had bid farewell to the world of mortals, what use would one still have for such a shape? When dwelling between mountain and forest, away from the struggles and troubles of the mortal world,
After the war, Cloud Retainer retired to Mount Outsong, only revealing herself to the occasional visitor. and always in her avian form. Although I do believe there was an occasion some 30-odd years ago when she decided to don her human form. I believe it was for the purpose of...
One believes there is little need to relive bygone matters.
Granny, are you okay?
Back then...
Perhaps this conversation should end here. I shall take my leave now. Should you encounter any trouble, you need only call my name. However, given that you are traveling with Cloud Retainer, I trust you are in good hands.
Everyone! I think Granny is finally beginning to remember her past.
Slowly now. Calm your mind.
A long time ago, I stayed here to recuperate from my illness.
Huh. So what Shinto said was true! You did—
I don't remember. I'm very sorry, but I can't even remember the name of my illness. The only thing I can remember is that it took a great toll on me, and there was no cure for it. I was confined to my room in Wangshu Inn, where I spent many days unconscious. I'd come to every once in a while and stare at the migrating birds outside the window. It was a solemn sight. I remember crying. One day, I met a traveling merchant. Upon hearing of my illness, he sold me a bottle of soul-revitalizing tea pills. He told me that the pills were concocted using Adepti blood and could be used to alleviate my symptoms.
Wait, but if your illness remained dormant for several decades, are you saying that what you're going through now is just a relapse of what happened all those years, and it was all thanks to the pills that you managed to keep the symptoms in check?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Hey, you're not useless. You've done so much for me.
Oh, fret not, dear child. Granny was just a bit frustrated.
The recovery of a person's memories is a gradual process. Finding...
Next location. Next location. Oh, why don't we go to the area north of... There isn't really a landmark there, so where should we start? After all, if she was there for any length of time, then she would have stayed somewhere, right? Oh, Paimon's really got her thinking cap on today. At this rate, we'll recover all of Granny Wendai's memories in no time.
Useless!
Whoa, why are there so many treasure hoarders here? Guess it's time to round up some bad guys.
Evil conquering! Worthless! Demons do not stop for the rain.
Do you remember anything about this place, Granny Wendai?
Let me think. I feel, but I don't...
Got it. That's okay.
Wait a second. If I remember correctly, I believe I brought... Ah, yes. I brought some sweet snacks with me. Go on, take some. You need to eat a lot if you want to grow big and strong.
Oh,
Useless.
I don't remember this place. Still, I was thinking.
Huh? What?
I'm not sure. Maybe. Ah.
Not. Paimon sees an abandoned house! Why don't we take a break over there?
This place.
Did you remember something, Granny?
I remember. Shuyu. It was a moonless night. I had been injured, so your grandpa was supporting me. We fled together with some being in the fog behind us in hot pursuit. I had exhausted my strength when the labor pains came on, so we took refuge in this house. I remember that night. I remember falling to my knees, reciting a prayer. Oh, I alone am the source of this sin. Punish me as you wish for forsaking my oath.
Sin? Oath?
I don't know. I don't remember. Eventually, the house was filled with the sound of my baby's first cries. That baby was your father. I remember I clutched him tight to my chest.
My dad?
He was my pride and joy. And so are you, Shu. But you're always going to be different from me. I
don't care what you might have done, Granny. You'll always be the person I love more than anything.
You're too sweet, Shuyu. I'm lucky to have you with me. If not for you, I would not have had the courage to come here, to try to remember what I had forgotten. All right. Let's not stand around any longer. There's one place left, yes?
If one recalls correctly, the next place should be Qingyu Peak. Yuandai, how fares your health?
Want me to do that?
Climb on. I shall carry you to the top. Oh, such lightness of weight.
All those who grow old grow frail in the end, do they not? First, you lose your memory, then your health. Eventually, you end up losing everything. My only wish is to depart this world with a lucid...
We're finally here. Does this place feel familiar to you?
Let me see... How strange. Have I lived here before? When we were at Wangshu Inn and the abandoned house earlier, though I couldn't remember everything, I still felt a sense of familiarity. But here, I don't have that feeling. Perhaps I did come here in the past, but it just didn't leave a strong impression on me.
But did the stories get it wrong then? Yeah, Yeah, that's true. Paimon was hoping this place would jog Granny and...
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
It's all right. We're not going to give up yet.
Thank you. Huh? That way. What's that mountain?
Oh, let Paimon look! Huh? Isn't that Mount Outsong? Looks like we've come full circle.
Mount Outsong. Mount Outsong.
Granny, are you okay? Don't push yourself, Granny. It's okay if you can't remember.
Mount Outsong, What?
Mount Outsong holds some familiarity to you?
It does, but I can't go back.
Are you feeling unwell?
My head, it feels all heavy and dizzy.
Cloud... Miss Xianyun, is there anything you can do?
Let us go to Mount Out.
But...
Fret not, all will be well. You and I, you have already given more than enough. You may leave the rest to me. I've prepared something that can aid you in suppressing the fear in your heart.
Wait, really? When did you do that?
I never leave anything to chance. All will reveal itself when we arrive.
Worthless! Huh. Huh.
Come on, just tell Paimon already!
Here, this is it.
Huh? But isn't...
Precisely. A recent one at that. I am most pleased with the result. It periodically releases a soft breeze, which when paired with a gentle adeptal tune, can help the listener subconsciously relax and even enter a semi-hypnotic state, soothing agitation and...
Whoa, what a cool... We could have come to Mount Outsong right off the bat and saved Paimon a lot of floating!
How preposterous. Had you and I not recalled, we Adepti can only...
Paimon thinks she gets hit now.
As previously mentioned, a gentle adeptal tune is required to take full advantage of the mechanism. One secured such a tune from Streetward Rambler.
Whoa, Paimon can feel it, you mean?
And you and I. It appears she has already succumbed to the depths of reverie.
The drought is over. But why do you look like you want to cry?
The potion. It's nearly run its course.
I've never regretted meeting you.
Please. Please, no. Have you forgotten? This is the world you left behind. One of gentle breeze and morning dew, perfectly straddled betwixt the realms of heaven and earth. This is your home. This is where you belong. You should have never left. The you of the past, the me from not that long ago. We should have never.
So that is the truth. No wonder this place is so familiar.
Granny! Granny, are you...
Cloud Retainer.
Your memories have returned?
Wait, did you just call her by her... You already knew each other?
Yes. I now remember everything.
Granny, please don't cry.
Oh, don't worry, my dear child. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's all come back to me.
One can sense the guilt that now plagues your conscience. Reclaiming a truth long buried is sure to come with a myriad of complex emotions.
No, it's okay. Now that I've remembered, I must face my memories head on. Shuyu, everyone, I cannot thank you enough for all—
Please, Granny, don't force yourself.
I know, dear child. My feelings for you are exactly the same. It is for this reason that you deserve to know the truth. Some time ago, I made a terrible mistake. One for which I could never atone.
Is this the sin?
I am, in truth, not a human being. My real form, one that I held for centuries, was that of a wild crane. I spent many, many years living on Mount Outsong, bathing in the soft breeze and drinking the sweet dew of the mountains. At some point, I somehow gained wisdom and sentience. The Lord of the Mountain, Cloud Retainer, became aware of my existence and began to share many stories with me. Though she never took me on as a formal disciple, I always saw her as my master. Whenever she took out her tools to work on mechanisms or new inventions, I would also stand next to her and watch. I even contemplated completing my training and becoming an adeptus in my own right.
50 years ago?
That's right. Master regaled me with many stories of her past deeds. She was the one I looked up to the most, but I was still far from being a real adeptus. I possessed no ability to take on human form and fit in with the crowd. She warned me that the potion's effects would only last 10 years, and if I were to fail to return to my original form at the end of that time, I would forever forget my past as a crane and become something neither human, beast.
Oh no. So that was the source of your dementia.
Was it because of...
Indeed. I fell in love. Though he was human, he had spent his entire life training on Mount Tianheng. When we met, it was not only my first foray into the world below, but his as well. Although clumsy and impulsive as he was, you'd think he was the real strange bird among the two of us. But still, just like me, he cared deeply about the world and wanted, more than anything, to cleanse. I could not help but fall for him. But my time continued to tick away. Those 10 years passed by in a flash.
Oh no.
I committed an offense. I wanted to stay with him, even if it meant living a life. I knew I had betrayed Master's hopes, but I was too ashamed to face her. I was convinced that she would not support my decision, but that was only the beginning of... Along with my memory, looking back, I was beyond lucky to have come across that traveling merchant at Wangshu Inn. It was such a
Granny!
Coincidence? Why did I ever think it was a coincidence, Master? Don't tell me.
Human custom would dictate the conferral of gifts to be in order when one's progeny is wedded, would it not?
So when I tried to conceal my name and mistakes from the world and hide myself away in perpetuity, the only person I managed to deceive was myself. You knew where I was.
One still remembers when you were but a fledgling. You possessed a certain fondness for a particular game. You would hide yourself among a group of wild cranes and ask one to pick you out from among the flock. One found you with such ease every time. 'Tis a truth most evident. One always recognizes one's own, no matter what form they may take.
Oh, wait! Paimon's confused! So, Cloud Retainer, you found Yuendai again? But how?
Perhaps it is now time for one to recount the rest of the tale. One was furious upon receiving your letter. Seized with anger, one set out to bring you to your senses. truth, one had more than a few misgivings about your chosen partner. As an exorcist, his talent was lacking. But soon, one came to appreciate the devotion he bestowed upon you during your illness. Unwilling to begrudge someone of such character, one decided to overlook his aforementioned deficiencies. Wishing to grant you a life without regrets, one gathered many divine ingredients and used one's own blood to create a form of medicine. As for how to deliver the medicine, after much contemplation, one took great care to alter one's features and select the appropriate attire. As one expected, you were most ignorant of one's true identity. You showed not even the slightest inkling of recognition. One was quite torn. Should one have celebrated the success of one's disguise, or mourn the loss of your acquaintance?
Not even what I wanted to do. Oh my god.
Nevertheless,
there we go.
One would speak to you about another matter.
That's where I'm meant
if
to
you
do.
are amenable. Even considering your loss of memory, one was simply flabbergasted that you could so easily forget the consequences of consuming medicine infused with adeptal blood. Its proclivity to attract monsters is hardly that complicated of a concept to remember. To think that you tried to travel while weak from sickness and heavy with child. Had one not intervened to clear the fog, all of you would have been lost during the night. Inconsequential! Seize the skies! Skyward! Gray clouds converge! Skyward! Those monsters would hardly have pursued you with such ferocity. Sad godly remains, in turn, were likely drawn to the trace of one scent on your body. One was, after all, an active participant in the Archon War. Some of the gods were likely shattered by contraptions of one's very making. In the end, one was relieved to see you endure through the night. At the break of dawn, one heard an infant's cry pierce through the air, and one saw you carefully cradle the child to your chest. To see you happy, that was more than enough. Now you should have a complete understanding of the events.
Wait! But if that's true, then the crane who took care of me when I was sick must also be...
Ah, one had almost neglected to recount the absurdities of that tale. Just as you and I troubled one with her antics, so did you give one many a headache. Upon finding you burning with fever, one made plans to bring you back to one's abode for treatment. However, upon seeing one's form, you began to cry. When one asked you why, apparently you believed that one could not possibly be a true Adeptus, because all illuminated cranes are white from tip to toe. One had no choice but to apply powder to one's body to conceal the variegated nature of one's appearance. It bears mentioning, however, that as a crane, Yuendai was nearly entirely pure white in color. Though you had never encountered her in that form, you still recognized the essence of her being. Perhaps fate brought you two together in more ways than one. Now all has been revealed. One owes you an apology, you and I. One recognized you upon your very entrance into Wanmin Restaurant. One has always viewed you as a disciple of equal standing with Ganyu and Shenhe. Indeed, one wished to bring your story to a satisfactory end with this. Still, one could not reveal your identity right away. Had one simply informed you of all you had lost, memories are most meaningful when recalled by those who lived through them. Would you not—
Master, I must ask. If you found me all those years ago, why did you leave me be, even though you knew about my mistake? Why did you not bring me back to Mount Outsong by force?
One has never regarded your action as a mistake. It was a simple choice, nothing more. When it is time for one's progeny to leave the nest, it is the responsibility of an elder to let them fly free. Yet, when your wings grow weary and the night grows dark, just know that you always have a place to which to return. 'Tis a refuge referred to by many a name in mortal writing. Home, nest, haven. Whatever its denomination may be, its essence remains quite unchanged. One speaks, of course, of a place not unlike one's own abode. One's disciples are free to come and go as they wish, yet the door remains forever open to those who wish to return. One rather hopes you count yourself among them.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You and I. One expects you too have sensed the rapid deterioration of your condition as of late. 40 years ago, you chose a path without a future. Though one used one's own blood to provide you with a few decades of extra time, it merely delayed the inevitable. One may have extended the path, yet one was unable to alter its final destination. Even the power of an Adeptus has its limits. Had your condition continued to deteriorate, you would have forgotten your life as a human entirely. Fortunately, you were able to avoid that scenario by reclaiming your memories. Though one sped the process along by providing some guidance, the result is entirely a reflection of your own effort.
So, what's gonna happen to Granny?
One will help her reclaim her original form as a wild crane. If it be fated, she may recover her sentience one day.
She's gotta go back to being a regular crane, huh?
Master, you've already done more than enough for me. I don't know how I could possibly repay your kindness. This is a better result than I could have ever hoped for.
Not long.
Granny? Please don't leave, okay? You're all I have left.
Don't be sad, dear child. Granny has led a wonderful life. Don't forget to eat well, okay?
I promise, Granny.
Good girl. Good girl. Don't worry. I won't stop until I can turn into a human without having to rely on anything but my own power. When that day comes, we'll be able to live together again. You and I. How's that sound?
good.
That's a good girl. Even though we won't see each other for a little while, as long as we both...
I'll eat well, Granny. I promise. And I'll...
That's a good girl. I'm so sorry, Master.
Xiu-Yu.
Let her be. At her age, crying is a natural, if not fitting, response to such an event. Tears are a necessary part of maturation. Sometimes there is scarcely a better vehicle to wash away the toll of stress, and now that the issue has been resolved, you should also take a moment to relax. Give yourself some time to rest.
Believed we would see each other again, that our days of separation would finally end, and all my troubles would be behind me. Could stay this way forever.
A nightmare? Curious. If you're relaxed, shouldn't your dreams be pleasant?
It was a good dream. It's just...
You weren't ready to wake up. Eloquent as one may be, words of comfort are not one's strong suit. You are doing all you can. One can see your strength of will, your fearlessness in the face of danger. And so, whatever your dream may be, one believes that you shall achieve it. Of course, whenever the perils you face overwhelm you, or you become weary, one is always here for you. After all, as an elder, it is only right to look out for the young ones.
Grilled chicken drumsticks. Huh? Was Paimon sleeping just now? Oh. Oh, Paimon wasn't talking to you. Paimon had a dream about eating grilled chicken drumsticks, that's all.
Wow. Ugh. Wasn't expecting that.
Madam...
Oh, Shuyu, you're awake!
I feel... a little better. Madam Adeptus, could I, ask you something?
Oh. And have you reasons for this sudden...
I know Granny thought what she did back then was wrong. She felt really bad about it, but without that mistake, I would have never been born. Even though Granny lost her memories, she never forgot to show me how much she loved me. So I could become a cool Adeptus like you, and help a whole bunch of people, just like Granny wanted to do.
Upon some reflection, one supposes you are no mere mortal. The fact that Yuendai's blood flows through your veins is proof enough of that. If this is what you desire, one shall make it so.
Thank you so much, Madam Adeptus.
Shuyu, are you sure about... Paimon's gonna let you in on a little secret. We've seen Cloud Retainer's 2 other disciples, and they pretty much eat nothing but bitter herbs like Genshin and violet. If you join them, you'll never enjoy Wanmin Restaurant's delicious cooking ever again.
How utterly preposterous. One has never enforced such a rule. Every individual must find their own path to enlightenment. So long as one retains a pureness of spirit, one's dietary proclivities are quite irrelevant.
Well, you say that, but Paimon's not seeing any tasty
Although Mount Outsong is rich in natural beauty, its location does preclude access. That is precisely why one plans to relocate to Liyue Harbor. Shuyu shall have the honor of becoming one's first disciple in the human world.
Whoa! You're leaving Mount Outsong?
One has never concerned oneself with the location of one's residence. From the very beginning, one has sought only solace and peace. Yet in the end, all of one's disciples ended up in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu, Shenhe, Yuendai. One has reflected on this fact for many years now. One can only assume that it is due to some failing on one's part as an elder or master. A failing, perhaps, of recognizing what it was they truly wanted. One is most curious as to what aspect of Liyue Harbor could have enticed them to remain there. Why are you all so silent?
Paimon is... just a bit shocked, that's all.
One has precious little time to squander. However, if one will be assuming the identity of a human while residing in Liyue Harbor, you should take care to avoid disclosing one's true identity.
Don't worry, we'll help you keep it a secret. So, when can we expect to start seeing you in the city?
Perhaps in 2 days' time. One has some matters to see to before one's departure. Preparation is the key to success, after all. One has already picked out a handsome property near Chuhu Rock.
Seems like you've really thought of everything. Then how about we meet up in Liyue?
A sensible plan. See you. Oh, also, why don't you take this suspensus somnium mechanism as a souvenir? Anytime you should feel ill at ease in the future, you may try quieting your mind and sitting in meditation as you listen to its melodies.
Awesome! Hey, didn't we promise Shincho that we'd tell him what we found out? Should we make it this?
The damned will sooner die again. Only
That was a lot to take in.
Your concerns are excessive and unfounded. This is but a simple collection of ordinary valuables.
To be quite honest, your insistence on that fact is my primary cause for concern. In what way are any of these ordinary? Every single item here could be worth more than everything I own combined. I simply can't risk shelling out that kind of mora without proper scrutiny. I have to be careful. Yes, you can...
We're here, Clow! Miss Shenyan?
Ah, perfect timing. This ignoramus is questioning the authenticity of my wares. I'll have you know, these items have remained untouched in my personal collection for several hundred years. To question their legitimacy is pure folly.
Several...
Indeed. They're family heirlooms, you see. Passed down over...
Yep, they've definitely been around a while. We can vouch for her on that one.
Hear that? Had I not found myself in need of mora, I would doubt their authenticity any further, and I may just decide to take them to another...
Whoa! Please don't go! I apologize for any insult, miss. You see, I know full well that I lack the knowledge to judge the true worth of these items.
An expert, you say? Very well. I will wait for a little while longer, then. Traveler, Paimon, this is my new residence. If you have cause to seek my company in the future, this is where you can find me.
Master! Oh, it's you two again.
Shiryu! You got a new outfit! It looks great on you.
Mm-hmm. Master made it for me. I like it too.
Huh? You know how to make clothes?
Do I know how to make clothes? With the support of the proper mechanism, sewing is hardly a challenge.
Master, I brought in most of my stuff. There's a few boxes left, but they're kind of heavy, so I just left them outside.
Fret not. I shall help you move them into your room.
Actually, I should probably sort through my stuff a bit first. Everything's kind of messy right now, so maybe...
It appears my young apprentice has her own fair share of secrets. No matter. Do what you must, child. Now, this expert you mentioned, when can we expect...
Soon. Here, allow me to make some introductions. This is Mr. Zhang Li, a well-respected consultant at Wangshang Funeral Parlor and an expert in all manner of valuables and antiques. Mr. Zhongli, this is Miss Shen Yun. She...
If it isn't Miss...
Indeed, most serendipitous.
Quite well, thank you. I was fortunate enough over the past few days to enjoy both a stroll in the mountains and a fresh brew of tea from the most recent harvest. The experiences left...
Huh. So you two are already acquainted?
Indeed. How fortunate...
You are too kind, Mr. Zhongli. True collectors pride themselves on their wealth of knowledge and eye for detail. I can say without a doubt that you are foremost in that regard.
Why, you flatter me, Miss Shenyun.
Not at all, Mr. Zhongli.
While I am loath to butt into this conversation, you two already knew each other, and you...
Ha! A preposterous accusation.
Miss Shenyun speaks the truth.
Say no more. Let us depart.
I jest. What fool would still... I deeply apologize for doubting you. So,
There is no cause for concern. They are indeed rare and precious valuables. Take this The same can be said for this one here. I am sure you have heard from your travels that the study of mechanism...
All right. Then in that case, Miss Shenyun, I'll take the lot.
The Northland Bank? Huh. Oh, you refer to the fiduciary house.
I fear people only use the term bank nowadays.
Xiangli!
My friends, have you been doing well?
We've been great! How about you? Paimon didn't know you were such—
My days have been quite pleasant as well. I had been quietly enjoying a cup of tea when Mr. Xiaozu requested... As for you, Miss Shenyun,
I must say, the name Shenyun sounds exceedingly strange coming from you. Perhaps you could dispense...
Whatever for. Am I not addressed?
Well, that is... Alas, refer to me however you will. After all, a name exists such that others may address you with...
It would seem that you have gained many valuable insights over the years, Cloud Retainer.
One has indeed. One's previous stays were all brief. Now that one has made up one's mind to move and settle, one has gained a much better appreciation of the hubbub and commotion of the city, as well as the people's hard work and ardor. This city is much changed from how it was more than 1,000 years ago.
Not unlike the ocean tides, so too shall the movement of people ebb and flow. From
Alright, that's enough reflection for one day. No need to get all sentimental on us.
You make a valid point, Paimon. Now that the...
Perhaps you have forgotten, Cloud Retainer, but I once tried my hand at that dish. You were at the table on that occasion, so logic dictates that you should have already tried it.
Oh? What occasion was this?
It was a reunion between friends several centuries ago. Alas, you must have been too preoccupied to secure yourself a portion.
Huh! Hardly. 'Twas most certainly out of consideration for the others in attendance. In but a moment, one will show you what it means to have a true deftness of hand. It is settled then. Bamboo shoot soup, mora meat, crab roe tofu, triple-layered consommé. We shall enjoy the lot. One has already passed word to Shenhe and Ganyu to make a reservation. It is prime time for them to meet one's newest disciple.
It should be a most splendid occasion.
Shu Yu, come now, it is time to dine. Ah, this gentleman over here is Mr. Zhang Li.
A humble employee of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Zhengli.
That should be everyone, right?
Sounds good. Actually, Master, have you ever tried Adeptus' temptation? I heard it's impossible to stop eating after eating.
That sounds rather implausible. Although with the right preparation...
Huh? Why are you all walking so fast? Hey, wait for Paimon! Hey, wait up!
I'm gonna end it here. My thoughts on that? To be honest, I don't know what to say.